Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, brothers and sisters. I hope you are having a great and blessed day wherever you are. If you're not, I pray Allah makes it better for you, inshallah. And today I'm going to just continue the video, the 9 shocking facts in the Quran, and we're just gonna pick up from where we left off. And yeah, may Allah help us.
Of the universe. At the time when
and they must be basically what we're seeing in mountains is just the tip of the iceberg.
Number 5, expansion of the universe. At the time when the science of astronomy was still primitive, the expansion of the universe was described in Quran. And it is we who have built the universe with our creative power and keep expanding it. The fact that
Sorry, I'm gonna be pausing a lot and stuff, but that would actually explain the Big Bang too, because once something and then it boom, when it explodes, it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger. It's when things explode, they don't collapse, they expand. So yeah,
the universe is expanding was discovered in the last century.
so the Big Bang might
The
be,
physicist
you know,
Stephen Hawking, in his book A Brief History of Time, writes, the discovery that the universe is expanding was one of the great intellectual revolutions of the 20th century. The Quran mentioned the expansion of the universe even before the invention of the telescope. Number 6, Sun's orbit.
That's just
In
too much of a
1512.
bug out. Like, how am I supposed to understand the universe is a thing of infinite empty space, or not empty, but full
It's
of
not-
random
nothing
stuff,
is
space,
empty.
and it's expanding. But where is it expanding to? What's there? What's there? Isn't that also universe?
Bro, the biggest mind fuck, like, you know, whenever you're a little baked or whatever, and you sit around with your friends and
I can tell he's amazed too. He's just like, how? Me too, brother.
talk about it, like, it's like time just like infinitely goes back and it infinitely goes forward. Time literally just keeps going back. There's nothing that happened first, because
What do you
something
mean?
was going on before that. How could something have just happened first?
What, do I need to get high for this conversation?
No,
What are
but
you
I'm
even
saying, like, this is the
don't
shit I think
understand.
of. But it's like, what could have happened first? Like, there's nothing that could have happened first, because there's something before that. Did shit just like spawn out of like what? Like,
know.
what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Have you ever had a lucid dream where you know you're dreaming?
Yes.
You said you do. You fly
But
in them.
last night
had
I
one
had
too?
one while I was fighting to wake up and I couldn't, and I was terrible.
If you know certain, I'm gonna be butchering this. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but it is barzakh. You know, it's like it's literally another life. It's not just, there's a spiritual life, of course. I'm gonna explain it that way. I don't know much about it, but my little bit of understanding, it's like when we sleep, we half dead, kinda. It's like we still can maneuver, like we can, like, let's say some the ones in barzakh, if they pray to meet somebody that they love, to you know, to visit them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can grant them that prayer, and then they can take you and you can meet them, you know, and you can see somebody in your dream, and then that's like, y'all are just, you know, that's what they explained to me. I might be wrong. I butchered it. I can't put it on the right, but that's my explanation.
Terrified, and I knew I was having
As
a
far
bad
as
dream, and I was
lucid
trying to call you
dreams
on the phone,
can
and I
feel
was
real,
pressing
real.
the phone, and it wouldn't light up because I was still dreaming. It was bad, but then I was like, "Oh no, I'm dreaming," and I had to fight awake.
You know what's weird?
But
is
yes, I
had
fly in my dreams, but I don't always know that I'm dreaming.
I had my first lucid dream that same like right after ever. Like, that was like my first time where I was like fully,
Right after what?
Like, after I said, like, are you
I
okay?
always
came
have
in your
those
room and
dreams
shit.
too.
And then
Oh,
I went to
last night?
sleep. I went back to
Exactly
sleep,
but-
and I had a lucid dream for the first time. It was wild. I tried to be Spider-Man, and I was
One time I dreamed, like, my dream felt so real, like I was out of my body and I was literally standing over myself, like looking at myself sleep. And sometimes I dream, like, when I have sleep paralysis, I don't know, yeah, when I get sleep paralysis, like, I can literally, like, come in the living room, or literally trying to get somebody to go and touch me or wake me up so I can wake up. And it's just mind blowing.
Trying to shoot webs because I was like, I don't know, I'm in a dream and that's just like where my mind goes. It's like I gotta do something cool. So I was like trying to shoot webs and I like couldn't, and then I just went and I was like smoking cigars with some guys I know online. It was weird. It was like such a weird dream.
But you knew.
But I knew. But then it's like you forget and you forget and then you remember.
Yeah, why you must get that from me? Because
ever since I quit,
I can't take a nap
Sorry,
without a dream.
ever since I quit weed, my dreams have been so crazy lately. It's wild stuff.
Sun's orbit. In 1512, the astronomer Nicholas Copernicus put forward his theory that the sun is motionless at the center of the solar system and that the planets.
So how we long for Old Spice.
Wow, they played me. As soon as I was about to skip,
revolve around
they
it.
skipped.
The belief that the sun is stationary was widespread amongst astronomers until the 20th century. It is now a well-established scientific fact that the sun is not stationary, but is moving in an orbit around the center of our Milky Way galaxy. The Quran mentions the orbit of the sun. It is
How
He
the
who created night and day.
fuck does everything stay in the same spot? How does the moon stay the same exact distance? Like our gravity
It doesn't stay the same exact distance at different seasons. It's closer and further.
But like exactly.
It has
it's
it
the
doesn't
same,
have a
like,
circular orbit. It has an oval, right?
how the fuck is there a rock that's floating around our planet? That's great. Like our gravitational pull reaches that far to where it legit holds this random rock in the sky.
But what if it had a fucking surge and it just
Stop
pulled the
it,
moon
man.
and it just punched us in the face?
It's just funny and amazing how they're just amazed by how everything is. And it's just, soon as you have the understanding of like, okay, everything is designed in a way by the creator that we as a human being, we only going to have so much understanding. Don't kill yourself trying to understand certain things. Like, it is things that we will never understand as far as our intelligence. I mean, there might be generations where God blessed them with technology where they can discover those things, but for right now, let's just stay off where we at.
But like, how crazy is it? It stays like relatively the same distance. Like this fucking rock is just floating around us. That makes no. That's crazy.
Well, let's get a really smart person on here to dumb it down and explain
I'm just like,
us.
so the moon, it's just like going around us. That's crazy.
No,
though,
I
when you
feel like
think
a
about it.
complete fucking idiot talking about this. It's just
But
so
even when you're
complex.
smart, like I understand why, but it's like
That's why those people don't hang out with the rest of us, because we.
It's really not about being dumb or smart. It's more like having the equipment to learn it, because as a regular person you cannot understand certain things. You need equipment, you need gears, you need technology to reach somewhere, to get somewhere, to look at something, to feel something, and all of those things. But as just a regular person walking around, you will never understand.
We can't.
sheep.
Those
we
things.
cannot think at their level.
no, yeah.
The sun
You're not
and the
dumb,
moon,
ma'am. You're not dumb.
each floating in its orbit.
What did this just say? Did it just say that the sun
The sun.
moves?
Yes.
No, the sun in our galaxy stays, and we go
No,
around
everything
the
moves.
sun.
The sun moves in the galaxy,
And it's-
and then it's like this is moving, and then everything around
But
this
we
is moving.
orbit around the sun, but the sun is moving itself,
Yeah.
and we're still just staying relative to the sun. Is that it?
Yeah, we're just relative to this ball of
The
gas
way the
millions of
moon
miles
is
away.
relative to us. Okay.
And
okay.
that still explain again the Big Bang. Everything is in motion. Still like you know what I'm saying? But that just explain it again.
Oh, God,
but
I
the
just
Big
got
Bang is
smarter, thank you.
explaining
The
the
Quran would
Quran.
have been wrong according to astronomers just a couple of decades ago. But we now know that the Quranic account of the sun's motion is consistent with modern astronomy. Number 7, the ocean.
Oh shit.
The Quran uses imagery to convey its deep meanings. Here it describes the state of the unbelievers as darkness out in a deep ocean, which is covered by waves, above which are waves, above which are clouds, layers of darkness, one upon the other. When one puts out his hand therein, he can hardly see it. Those God gives no light to, they have no light. It is commonly thought that waves only occur on the surface of the ocean. However,
This verse literally explains the oceans and life at the same time, like the ocean, how the ocean is, and in our real life too, because it explains how the oceans has waves inside of it and it's dark, you can't see nothing, and then it comes out of it just to it took that whole phrase just to explain, even in our regular life, if God don't bless you with light, as far as knowing, being in a good state of mindset, being in peace, being blessed with your needs and your, things like that, you can, that darkness, if God don't give you those blessings, you're gonna stay in the darkness, you're gonna be in that bad energy. So with that being said, it explains literally two things. I don't know if you catch my drift, what I'm trying to say.
Oceanographers have discovered that there are internal waves that take place below the surface of the ocean. These waves are invisible to the human eye and can only be detected by specialist equipment. The Quran mentions darkness in a deep ocean above which are waves. Above which are waves, then clouds above that. This description is not only remarkable because it describes the internal waves in the ocean, but also because it describes darkness deep in the ocean. A human being can dive no more than 70 meters without breathing equipment. Light is present at that depth, but if we go down 1,000 meters, it is completely dark. 1,000 foot.
We are only going to see and know or hear what God wants us to know. Like anything He don't want us to see or know about, we will never see or know about it. So He gives us free wills, but He gives us a limit too. Like, okay, you reach this, that's too far for you, buddy. Come back a little bit.
How the fuck would they know that? Yeah.
There were no submarines or specialist equipment to discover internal waves or the darkness deep inside the oceans.
That could only come from the ones that created it.
Lying in movement.
The explanation.
There was a cruel, oppressive tribal leader named Abu Jahl, who lived during the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. God revealed a verse of the Quran to warn him. No, indeed, if he does not stop, we will seize him by the forehead, his lying, sinful forehead. God does not call this person a liar, but calls his forehead, the front part of the brain, lying and sinful, and warns him to stop. This verse is significant for two reasons. The first is that the front part of our brain is responsible for
Excuse my accent.
This is known as the frontal lobe, a book titled Essentials of Anatomy.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it feels good when something is being explained and you know the exact verse. I've been feeling so good, like, yes, I know this.
Physiology, which includes the results of research on the functions of this area, states
the new Swiffer Power Model. Love it or your money back.
Please don't do it. They did it again.
Motivation and the foresight to plan and initiate movements occur in the anterior portion of the frontal lobes, the prefrontal area. The part of the brain that is responsible for movement is said to be seized if the man does not stop. Secondly, numerous studies have shown that this same region, frontal lobe, is responsible for the lying function of the brain. One such study at the University of Pennsylvania, in which volunteers were asked questions during a computerized interrogation, it was found that when the volunteers were lying, there was significantly increased activity in the prefrontal and premotor cortices frontal lobe region. The front part of the brain is responsible for movement and lying.
Fun fact, I learned this in science class in 7th grade. A way they track this is wherever your brain is using the most activity, that's where blood goes. So if you're lying and they're tracking your brain, they can see where the blood goes through like the scanner shit.
It's amazing.
And that's how they can tell. Neuronal activity is linked to blood flow. I was so smart in 7th grade when I learned that. I was up there on stage. I was like, yeah, neuronal activity is linked to blood flow. And everyone's like, what? Like, yeah, no big fucking deal.
Links movement and lying to this area. These functions of the frontal lobe were discovered with medical imaging equipment, which was developed in the 20th century.
That's very cool.
Number 9, pain receptors.
Oh, God.
For a long time, it was thought that the sense of feeling and pain was dependent on the brain. However, it has been discovered that there are pain receptors present in the skin. Without these pain receptors, a person would not be able to feel pain.
To the brain.
Wait.
Consider the following verse on pain. We shall send those who reject our revelations to the hellfire. When their skins have been burned away, we shall replace them with new ones so that they may continue to feel the pain. God is almighty.
Holy fuck.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like, right here, this is not nice. Because if I don't believe you, I gotta go to hellfire, you burn off my skin, then you just keep giving me new skin and burning it off and burning it off and burning it off. Like, that, where's the love that I'm hearing? That's not loving.
God tells the people who reject his message.
I mean, subhanallah, I'm gonna stop right there. This, of course, I mean, it is love, but it is correction. Like, I don't understand when it's a lot of people that always talk about God supposed to be loving, God supposed to be this, God supposed loving. All they talk about is love. Do you know what love is? If your kid is doing bad, you're still gonna give them a whooping even though you love them. You know what I mean? If your kid wants something to eat, something that's not good for them, you're gonna take that from them even though you love them. Does that mean you don't love them because you're taking it from them? Or does that mean you love them because you know that's not good for them? You know, I don't want to hear that. I do not like when people always talk about why he's so angry, why ain't no love.
That when they're in hell and their skins are burnt off so they can't feel any pain, he will give them new skins so that they continue to feel the pain. The Quran makes it clear that pain is dependent upon the skin. The discovery of pain receptors in the skin.
All of this was such a nice, peaceful video, and then they're talking about hellfire. And I know the Bible does that in places too, and I don't find that shit either. I'm sorry.
These are just some of the many facts.
There's always correction. It always comes with it. It's not happy la all the time. What about the people that are here serial killers? What about Jeffrey Dahmer? Where do you want Jeffrey Dahmer to be? You want Jeffrey Dahmer to be in the same peaceful places with you? Lord forgive me for saying these things, because only Allah knows, only Allah forgives, only He's the most merciful. Lord forgive me for that. But I'm just giving an example as like, do you really think somebody as Jeffrey Dahmer gonna do the things they did and still be with somebody that only did, not only of course, but did only mainly good things on this place of earth? No, it's not gonna be like, I'm sorry, it sounds good for the peace and the love, but it's not gonna be that. I'm sure the teacher want everybody to pass, but I'm surely some are gonna fail.
It's found in the Quran. It is important to know that the Quran is not a book of science, but that it is consistent with science. To claim that scientific facts in the Quran are due to coincidence would be irrational. The best explanation is that God revealed this knowledge to the Prophet Muhammad. Just like the Quran contains knowledge about the natural world, it also contains information about the inner dimensions of our souls. It relates to our feelings, wants, and needs. The Quran informs us that we have a purpose in life, and that following God's guidance will lead us to an inner peace in this life and paradise in the hereafter, and that rejection of His message will lead to depression in this life and hellfire after death.
Why do we gotta go with this hellfire stuff? I mean, seriously.
The same reason some students fail. It don't matter how much the teacher want them to pass and graduate with their friends. Some are gonna fail.
Can't
I
we have
agree
a-
with like the finding purpose like is important, and if you don't, you lead to that leads to depression, because obviously if you just go down like the hedonistic black hole, where you
That's
just
also yes.
But
Christian.
yeah, obviously, like if you just no, yeah, I agree. Like if you just keep going down that shit, you're not gonna find purpose and be truly happy. But yeah, I agree. The hellfire stuff is pretty crazy. I mean, I'm sure we have to like look more into it, but that sounds like fuck.
Yes, we
Is that
did,
what,
we
like,
did
fear-
not learn all the things we need to know about Islam. It just now, obviously.
It's only 9 things, buddy.
It's just my mind's being blown because, like, I don't know. I've always had such a warped perception of the whole religion, like forever. I think it's because of like the way the media portrays
Alhamdulillah.
it, and with 9/11 and stuff like that.
Just-
And you kind of just always have that
Yeah.
weird bias. I mean,
And
I know I
we've
did.
never
And it's
ever
just, like,
taken the time to try to understand it. We just haven't.
You
You know,
just
we're
haven't.
living. And it's not because we've had plenty of free time and we said, "Oh, shall we talk about Islam today?" No, like it just doesn't come up because it's
I don't.
not
I
our
don't even look
lives.
into fucking Catholicism. So it's like, it's no, but it's just
we're just living our lives. Yeah,
it's just crazy to me. Like listening to this stuff, like
all of that stuff. I will buy all of the science
She
stuff.
just don't like the
hook, line,
punishment.
and sinker. You got me. If that is truly, if that's in the Quran and the original copies, I believe in God, and I believe that He picks messengers to bring things to bring knowledge to pass on to the earth. And if this video is accurate, that's fascinating and proof to me that God exists, or Muhammad was a really kick-ass psychic. Like and I'm more likely
he
to
was a
believe
psychic,
that,
I wanna
that it
be
was
like
God,
him.
just based on my own experiences. It's cool. That was cool.
rate Islam 1 to 10.
Oh my
20.
god.
I'm playing. But all right, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm excited to look more into this shit. This is not that
Please
shit,
do.
but you know what I mean. Thank you guys for watching.
I
Make
love
sure to
watching you guys,
subscribe,
too.
Follow me on Instagram. Follow Sunny's mother on Instagram, and join the Discord. I have some free TikTok tips there for you guys.
All right, I guess that's it for tonight. I'm gonna say tonight because it's night over here. But yes, I hope you learn new things too, because I did, and I'm sure they did too. They seem mind blown, and it's just amazing, and it's just we're gonna keep doing these things, guys. Yeah. And forgive me if I made any mistakes while I was explaining anything or while I was putting my opinion in. Please forgive me. As I always say, I'm just a regular guy. I don't know much. I'm not a sheikh. I'm not a scholar. I'm not any of these people that went to learn about these things in order to teach others. I'm just a regular guy, a regular Muslim that knows only so much and that can make comments, a little bit of comments. I just love doing these things, and I hope you guys are gonna subscribe and keep learning with me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد